There are a number of games out there. Obviously, I've played a lot of Magic in the past, and there's that interesting idea of how do you choose what you defend with and what you attack with. And so we've tried a lot of different ideas throughout the development of Fortune, but what we've settled on is the player's allowed to put any unit in guard when it's the opponent's turn they attack. And this has created a really interesting gameplay mechanic for us, and it's actually one of the elements of the game we're really, really happy with. And it also has allowed us to add a keyword on a lot of card called Safeguard, which is when that unit is put in guard, something happens. And with that, we're able to create a lot of quite interesting and deep gameplay mechanics, but at the same time, really allow the player to protect whatever units they want to. And it's not as though you're waiting to draw a card out of your deck which happens to have that keyword on it. You are able to put anything into guard, and that is a really, really fun element in our game.
I think there's some interesting ones there as well, that we have cards that can actually put other units into guard, which then triggers their safeguard. And yeah, there's some really nice moments in there. But yeah, it certainly adds a lot of depth to the gameplay. And you're always in a position where you can try and sort of protect yourself and try to put yourself in that position where your plan's going to have the opportunity. No, it doesn't always work, but it puts it more in your control.
Yeah, it's less luck-based.
In Fable Fortune, we've got an event system as well. We can put in any rules we want in there and any different types of gameplay modes, so that even some of the cards that are possibly not that useful in PvP or maybe okay in co-op, but actually in certain events will become really powerful. Reanimating undead is a good example. But there are going to be cards that are going to come up there that from week in, week out, they're going to be constantly changing. So you're going to have that enjoyment of going and trying to solve those new puzzles and new problems, and giving yourself that opportunity to prove how good you are at the game and building out the decks, because things are going to be switching around constantly.
And added to that, our event system rewards people, for playing, but also for succeeding. So we have a PvP event system, which there's a number of leagues, and every time you go up a league, you get a reward. So there's always something to be aiming for. Now, you're going to go up through the leagues faster if you're winning, but even if you're losing, you're still progressing slightly to that point. So there's never a case of you've just lost 3 games in a row, you're annoyed, oh, I'm not going to play this game anymore, because you've lost 3 games in a row, but you've earned some resources, you're actually a bit closer to finishing that league and getting that reward. So at no point should the player be feeling, ugh, that was annoying. Obviously it's going to be annoying when you lose a game, but it should always feel like you're progressing towards something. And again, our events have that kind of, are you just coming in for a few hours a day or an hour a day or even half an hour a day and just getting a few little rewards? Or are you like a real core player who wants to be top of the hero league, Because our league systems really allow players to get to the top and get the best rewards for really investing. But there's something for everybody. There's something at every level. And that's really core to the design of our event system. It's very much aimed at everybody.
In game, you play cards by spending gold, the similar sort of resource mechanic that you'd have in a lot of CCGs. But the difference with ours is that we've tried to accelerate some of that initial period. So we actually start you off with 3 gold in the game, which is made for some really interesting things. Like, you change sort of the dynamic quite quickly on how you're starting, and it makes it a lot more interesting about how you build your decks. It's an interesting mechanic and an interesting change that we've added.
Yeah, there's a lot more choice on like the first few turns. Instead of going, do I have something that costs 1? Yes, I'll play it. No, I won't. You're suddenly like, do I play something for 1 and something for 2? Do I play a 3? Do I use my hero power and play a 1? And just instantly the game has more depth as soon as it begins. So you don't get that kind of regular standard start to every game.
Yeah, and you're also less dependent on that lucky draw as well.
Yeah.
Of like, am I going to get the good cards? With 3 gold, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to have something to play. It might not be your ideal
and your 4s
start.
and your 5s are quite, only 1 or 2 turns away.
Yeah.
And it's funny, that point brings us to another point, which is luck. The order that the cards come out is heavily dependent on luck, but we've tried to steer away from those cards which have massive swings of luck in the middle of a game, where you may have been playing quite well and be quite skillful, and then your opponent is just incredibly lucky and you lose. And that is such a frustrating situation to have. Now, obviously, there are cards which do random damage to random things, because those things are fun, and you have to deal with that as part of the gameplay.
A little bit of luck is fun, but having those huge game-changing moments because somebody got lucky is much more frustrating. Yes! So hopefully you can see that Fortune is a really exciting game. We're really passionate about it, and we really want to have a good open communication with our community. We really want you guys to come in and be actively involved and helping us shape the game into something that we're proud of and we're happy about, but also that you guys love and are passionate about as well.
This is as excited as Craig gets. Right there, that was it.